Good evening. Happy Saturday, folks. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight's Saturday special, the weekend review. Yeah. Good evening, folks. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Thank you for joining me. If you are joining me now, thank you. How you doing? Hope you're having a lovely Saturday. It was a bit wet and snowy. I still managed to go out and attend an event today by a gentleman, congressman named Tom Suozzi. Tom Suozzi. He is a candidate for New York State governor. He will be running against Kathy Hochul, the unelected governor we have in there now in the primaries. His running mate, Diana Reyna, Dominican, out of Brooklyn, New York, council member out of Williamsburg, was with him also. I got to meet both of them. Got to ask the Mrs. Reyna a question, and she answered it. You know, took some pictures. It was great. So I'm wanting to meet people. I want to kind of put potential candidates for governor out because I'm not in support of the current unelected governor. So I was there. I attended that. I posted the video. Check it out if you're interested in, seeing what candidates are out there. He's a Democrat, and you can check that out. I did want to go over. I didn't get to go on last night. I had some stuff going on, but I did want to go over a recap of the week. I do want to say, wow, I'm really kind of floored by the fact that I've received so many views on the last podcast. Like, it was the numbers were ridiculous. I thought if something was going on, I thought there was a mistake, but apparently not. And I've noticed that other podcasts have also increased in views significantly. So good, views are going up, and we're getting more of the information and message out. That's great. That's exactly what I'm looking to have done. So thank you for all those who may be new to the show. Welcome to Basement Politics. I am Freddie Vasquez, and I have been doing this now for almost a year, right? 2021. And so I bring it to you raw, unfiltered, unbiased, uncensored. Well, I don't curse, but I do give you the information truthfully, honestly, as I know it. I will correct myself if I make mistakes. So thank you guys for watching. That shot up the episode I did on Mr. ABC. And we'll talk about Mr. ABC in a little bit here again. We're not done with you, Mr. ABC. Not at all. We'll also talk about Native Sage and the race for assembly for District 90. I'll talk about Mike Breen as well. So anyway, I want to go over what I spoke about a little bit of stuff that happened this week. Well, today, if you don't know, Mike Breen announced that he will be running. Well, we already knew for assembly. He made an announcement early in the week that he was making an announcement, and he made that announcement today over at the Dunwoodie golf course. I wasn't able to attend. I was out in White Plains, though I would have liked to attend if they would have let me in. But yes, he made the announcement. He will be running, although already he has received a lot of flack, specifically an article written in the Yonkers Tribune where it accused Mike Breen, council member out of the 5th District, and his wife, Patty Breen, of quid pro quo. It alleged that Patty Breen is demanding a job for her husband, Mike, if he fails in his bid for assemblyman against Nader Sage, who will most likely be the Democratic nominee, as he is supported by Mr. ABC. And when you are supported by Mr. ABC, more than likely, you will win 1, 2, 3 easily. So I have no doubt he will be in the general election against Mike Breen. Mike Breen was warned, and I mentioned this earlier, they said it wasn't a good idea. And they knew that this was coming. And as you can see now, he's being exposed, right? The people that don't want him to run have information on him. But Patty Breen seems to have her own information, and she is basically hinting that if you do not give my husband a job, something might happen, right? And what does she know that makes her so demanding? You know, the way they presented it in the Yonkers Tribune is just she's just entitled, but I don't think so. I think there's a reason why she's that demanding. They owe her something or she knows something. And I did a little research into Patty Breen, the realtor, does very well. You should be on, $1 million listing or something, like $1 million listing Westchester. She recently closed on a $7+ million deal, and many of her deals have been multi-million-dollar deals. And since she's been licensed, I believe she's done about 600 transactions. Person that shared some of that information with me said, the Breens are rich. The Breens are rich. Well, maybe. But is it through real estate, or is it because, according to the Yonkers Tribune, Mike Breen has been milking the system? He doesn't have a car, but he has a license, and he drives it into Jersey. Okay. Well, a lot of the council members do, and they crash him as well, multiple times. Well, you didn't mention that. But this was a political hit piece on Mike Breen. It was. And not that I necessarily support Mike Breen, right? Because I've talked my stuff about him. But this was a political hit piece. I mentioned it to show people in Yonkers how our politics here operates, right? Now they're going after the Breens. And again, going back to the transactions that I located, or that someone helped me, locate, it would suggest that the Breens are doing very well. Why would Patty Breen demand a job? If she's doing transactions where the price of the property is $7+ million, and she's got a bunch of other transactions, $1 million+ deals, then why are you demanding for a job for Mike Breen if he doesn't win against Nader? You guys should be perfectly A-okay, unless those truly aren't your transactions, but you are the person that is publicly shown to have been the one involved or the one that benefited from those transactions. But did you really benefit from those transactions? Were those yours? Or were they someone else's? And had you not had that relationship with that individual, would you have 600 transactions, 600 deals in your career? I hear it's very rare. So then again, you must be a superstar realtor. But again, I'm not here to pick on you, Patty. It's none of my business. I really don't care. But I do want to show Yonkers and the people in Yonkers, those that vote, what the hell is going on here? And I couldn't tell them all the way ineffectively if I didn't mention it. Her husband will be running against Mr. Nader Sayage, assemblyman, currently. Office is over there in Getty Square. He's known for not a whole lot, actually, because I really haven't heard a lot of good things about Nader. I have done some research. I know he's flopped. That's one of the things that he's really known for, the flop on the religious exemption. I was told that he was kind of put into a corner and had to make that decision, although it went against his beliefs. But could it have been used as a negotiating tool in order to get his brother, Dr. Nadeem Sayage, on an early release after being arrested and convicted for distribution of prescription drugs? But this isn't unusual within the Sayage family, as I've been told. It seems to be a Sayage curse. That's right. The Sayage curse, where the doctors lose their licenses. He has two other Sayage doctors as well, here in Yonkers and out of state, who have lost their licenses for similar reasons. Mr. Nader Sayage comes from a line, a lineage of individuals who don't make the best decisions. And maybe he's not the individual that we want in our legislative body making decisions up there in Albany. They have this bill where they want to mandate the COVID vaccine. That's not a guy we want. I'd take a Republican any day, if that's the case, over someone like Nader, who will sell himself out to do what he has to do or to get what he has to get to benefit himself, because that is his priority. It is not his constituents, and it never will be. So we have to think about this, folks. At this point, if we do have these two individuals up for election and you have to make a choice, the lesser of two evils, who do you vote for? That's up to you to decide. I can't give you an opinion on that one. I can only present to you the information. That's all I could do. Well, again, I was told about Mike Breen's announcement today. Well, good luck for you. Good luck to you, Mike Breen. And I will not be necessarily supporting you, but if you want to come on my show, because you will not have a platform on the Yonkers Tribune, you're more than welcome to. I will be fair, absolutely fair. I won't be mean, and I won't be scary. You can come on. Patty, you're more than welcome to as well. I'd love to discuss all those transactions. You do very well. Maybe we can do some business. Very well. I didn't like about the Yonkers Tribune that they mentioned his kids and his daughter and who she married, her husband. I didn't think that was okay. That was off limits. I just thought that was out of line for the Yonkers Tribune, but he's known for that, and that's why he was sued. But anyway, going back to Nader Sage, I want to discuss the individuals who are behind Nader, and I spoke about that in my last podcast, Mr. ABC. I mentioned in my podcast that ABC stood for Always Bring Cash. That's right, always bring cash. If you are engaged in business, if you're a candidate looking to become an elected official, or let's say a judge perhaps, and you hire Precision Strategies, you will hear the term ABC quite often. Always bring cash. Don't bring a check. Those are easily traced. How else would you think he would pay for the multi-million-dollar home with the Scarsdale post office? And I hear the $250,000 Olympic-sized pool. Mr. ABC, can I come swim in your backyard? You have plenty of space. $250,000 pool, that's right, folks. What do you think he gets the money to fund the negative ads, attacks against those who oppose his candidates in the race? Nader Sage is one of his candidates, as I like to call them. They're horses that are in the race. So when you vote for an individual like Nader Sage or anyone that is connected to Precision Strategies, you are voting for Mr. ABC, 1, 2, 3, putting money in his pocket. Remember that. And I just want to recap that in case you forgot. Moving on. So what's going on here in Yonkers, right? Is there anyone that wants to run that we can vote for? Anyone that truly wants to, make a difference and genuinely wants to help and better Yonkers? Someone that the people can count on when they email for help. They can actually get a response that is helpful, if they get a response at all, right? Is there anyone that isn't full of dirt or simply going to be a shell, a warm body that's going to sit in a seat in the council chamber or any other position within our local, state, or county government? Mr. Nader Sage also has been known to commit fraud. He lied in court. He claimed to have gotten signatures, but in fact, it was his brother who went and collected the signatures for him. And this is documented. He's a lawyer who's, I guess all lawyers lie in court probably, right? He committed perjury in court, an elected official, an assemblyman. What else do we need to tell you in order to give you a clear perspective of the character of the individual? Mr. Breen may be a lame duck, but I don't see him doing anything malicious, voting certain ways, being paid off. Something like the religious exemption, which is a big deal for those who really want to, follow their faith, abide by their faith. To commit fraud and to lie in court and about signatures, that just says someone's a liar who's willing to do whatever to get ahead. And that's an individual we no longer need here in politics. It's time to make a change. And if we talk about change, that's what we have to do. So, folks, what are we going to do? Let's get it popping, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez, based in politics. Lo bochinche, the gossip. I always save this for the second half. I try to be informative the first half, give some important stuff. And then I talk about the gossip, the bochinche. And no, the sage curse is not necessarily bochinche. And the reason why I stated that is because it shows a history, a pattern of individuals within that family who haven't been ethical and continue to be unethical, have no integrity. It's not bochinche, but bochinche is stuff like President Albee of CSCA. I went on Facebook. I went on Facebook and I noticed that I had been tagged in a post. It was a post created by Alberto Velasquez, the president of CSCA 9169. Apparently, he thought it'd be funny to tag me in a post and call me a gossiper. He said in Spanish, the bonchinchero, and included his location, Miami. And he said, sorry, I'm not going to do your show, pobrecito, which means poor thing. That's fine, Alberto. You don't have to do the show, but you have to do your job. You are the president of CSCA. And instead of taking the time to create a post towards me, take the time to answer the members of CSCA. And instead of trying to be funny and flaunting the fact that you're in Miami, you should be doing your job and not disrespecting the members, because I wasn't insulted, but the members should be. If you are in Miami, once again, because they cannot locate you, Albee. I thought you were going to do something big. I mean, I remember the video when you came out the helicopter. Remember? They must have paid for a helicopter tour for you when you won. And you were shouting, the president is here. The president is here. President Obama. Is that who you think you are, Albee? Being the president and earning the respect of your members as the president takes more than just having the title. You have to earn that respect. You have to earn that respect, and you do that by your actions, Albee. That post shows your immaturity and the lack of responsibility that you take. If you are having members complaining, have grievances, then you should address them. Step up to the plate. Don't worry about a guy like me, the wannabe podcaster. I should be nobody in your radar, in your realm of reality, because you should be too busy doing your job as the president of CSCA. Get the damn contract done. But you're not coming onto my job because you're too cool for me, because I've had people that are way more important than you on the show. No, you're not coming on the show because you cannot. They got a muzzle on you. It's a gag order. And you don't want to mess that up, or you don't want to go against that, because you will find yourself in some real issue. You will really lose any ability you have to negotiate. You should have just accepted that contract, and then you could have been flying off to Miami and Puerto Rico without anyone like me harassing you. But more importantly, without the members being upset that you are not doing anything for them. You don't show up to meetings. You send supervisors, which we all know, well, people who aren't in the union know that supervisors are not always the people we want to speak to. Because I was in a union once before, in a school. We always had issues with the supervisors, and it had to be a union rep to come in between us. You have to do your job, Albee. You are now given this position in a full-time basis. You don't have to go into the school or do whatever you were doing before, but you are still getting that salary. So you have to work for it. Not pretend to be President Barack Obama getting a free ride. And who's paying for those trips to Miami and Puerto Rico? You have receipts? Did that come with the package deal? Be quiet. Take your ass to Puerto Rico. Go have fun. We don't want to hear nothing from you. Is that what it is, Albie? Or am I just a bonchinchero? Look, people reached out to me. And this is what I'm here for. So people from the community can reach out and I can amplify their concerns, their complaints, their grievances. I can highlight and bring awareness to problems we have here in the city. And unfortunately, in doing so, many times it's negative. Well, we're trying to change that and make it positive. There are positive things going on. And I mention it from time to time. But my goal is to make change. And in doing so, you have to address the negative. So again, Albie, they reached out to me. And as someone that wants to truly help and be someone in the community that makes a difference, I spoke on it. And I wanted to see something done, to see if I can help. That's all. But that's not my job, Albie. It's your job. But if you pay me your salary, I'll gladly do it for you. So to anyone out there who has an issue, a grievance with anyone or anything here in the city of Yonkers, you can always reach out to me because I will work to try to bring awareness to it. I do have a lot going on, so pardon me if I'm not as responsive as maybe you might like, but I have a lot going on, but I will try. I will try. And I will definitely mention it on the podcast and bring as much awareness to it. And that is what I'm doing, Albie. And that is why, Mr. Bully, moving along, I have been in the building department doing what I've been doing because I'm bringing awareness to the fact that people are mistreated in the building department. And I'm bringing up the fact that people are personally targeted using the building department as I have been targeted and other business owners here in the city of Yonkers. I mentioned about another business owner very recently in a podcast this week where councilwoman or majority leader Tasha Diaz went up into the business apparently because her daughter had an issue with the owner, her boss, and she threatened, the majority leader threatened the business owner to shut him down. She said, "You don't know who I am. Do you know who I am? I could shut you down, blah, blah, blah." And after that fact, she had police, people from the building department in his business writing tickets. And they harassed him until it started to come out. And they said, "We got to lay low." So it stopped. So when you bring awareness, things start to happen. Things start to change. The more people know it, the more you share it. That's why I want people to watch. That's how we get things done. So that's why I went in the building department, Mr. Bully. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm speaking of the gentleman that they have posted at the entrance of the building department. The gentleman apparently has an issue. He's made threats to me before, and he made more threats to me on Friday. I woke up in there, and he looks at me and immediately says, "You need to go outside." Who are you talking to? Who do you think you are, Bully? I call him Bully because that is his rap name. Since he thinks he knows me, like he said, "Oh, I know you. Then I'll call you by your rap name, Bully. Because you don't know me. You know of me like I know of you, but we don't know each other. Your job was to simply say, "How can I help you?" And when I told you what I was doing there, you should have just simply picked up the phone and asked the individual if they were expecting me like they were. Even the police officer Much respect to Yonkers police, and the police officer that day was extremely polite, very respectful. But this individual apparently works for the parking authority or bill, whatever, city of Yonkers, seems to have a problem. And I suggest that whoever is his supervisor over at the building department correct the attitude, because he has been making threats, and you're going to find yourselves in a serious lawsuit. I have threats that he's made outside to my personal Facebook page, and actually threats in the building department. And I don't take those threats lightly. So whatever you guys got to do over there in the building department, straighten that out, because I'm not waiting outside, and I'm not going to be escorted and just take my name off whatever list my name is on, because he said your name, he's on the list. What list is that? Why am I even on this list? The only one that's ever been aggressive and made threats was your employee. And I suggest you speak to that guy and let him know that that's Freddie Vasquez. If he comes here, just let him through. We're taking care of it now. Okay? Mr. Bully, you got that? And you can see me anywhere. I don't care. And that's not an invitation to anything. But that's just letting you know, if you want to make threats, that I'm not concerned. And I'm going to go about my day and my life as I usually do. So thank you very much. Just wanted to put that message out there. And really quick, before I get out of here, I want to shout out Devin from the Young Republicans, Westchester Young Republicans. What's going on, Devin? I hear you're going to be the guy behind Mr. Breen's campaign. Are you ready to take on Frankie Jarris? I hear he's a political genius. Let's see. Let's take bets, guys. Let's do a little wager, right? Create one of those box things. Well, Devin O'Rourke will be the strategist, according to sources, behind Mike Breen's bid for assemblyman. He will face Frankie Jarris. I'm sorry. I totally lying. I'm sorry. That's Nader. Oh, no, yeah, right. Nader, I got it confused. I'm sorry. Yes, he will face Frankie Jarris, who was the strategist behind Nader Sayegh. My apologies. I got a little hyped up with that last segment. Right? So it's going to be these two strategists. We'll see how Devin O'Rourke will do against Frankie Jarris, who has a history of winning a lot of campaigns. A lot of it's done through intimidation, dirty tricks, but he wins. He wins. He has Mr. ABC there to support him, his dad, Zahi Jarris. So those two will be going head to head in the Breen Nader race. That's going to be very interesting, and I'll be talking about that, a bit here as we approach the elections. I do want to mention on Sunday I will be speaking about bail reform. That's going to be a big topic. You know why? Because the Democrats are scared. And I'm a registered Democrat. The Democrats are scared of this bail reform thing. They know they kind of messed up, and that's what the Republicans are going to use. It's the red wave. Get your surfboards. And so they're attacking it, right? They're trying to get ahead of it. I saw that the Yonkers NAACP did a Zoom hall meeting, whatever you call those things, very recently, where they had Mimi Rocha. And we've spoken about Mimi Rocha. I got recently, someone asked about Mimi Rocha. Would she investigate what's going on here in the city of Yonkers? I said, I doubt it. But anyway, she was in a town hall meeting or Zoom hall meeting there with Yonkers NAACP. It's NAACP speaking about bail reform, right? And Corazon was on there. I got to mention this. And I'm going to talk about this on Sunday, but I got to mention this. Corazon Pineda, do you know what you're talking about? I'm not even trying. I'm saying she talked about the Republicans and fake news, right? First of all, you using fake news. Do you know that I think that Donald Trump coined that, a Republican, right? So now you're using Donald Trump's phrase, fake news, and her whole thing was about the fake news that is being spread about bail reform, and that bail reform works. That's what she said. Bail reform works. Corazon Pineda, and that this is all about the Republicans who failed, right, to make incremental changes in the laws along the way in regards to gun laws and justice reform. Really? She says it's all the Republicans, fake news, and misinformation. Well, I don't know if you didn't hear, but Mayor Spano is a Democrat, and he's been speaking out against the bail reform. And other Democrats have as well as Democratic voters who realized that it was a mistake if they were even for it to begin with, corazón. So it's not a Republican thing. Absolutely not a Republican thing. But anyway, they try to present facts. They're saying that, that it's all false information that's out there about bail reform and that crime is actually down. So I'm going to talk about that on Sunday. Let's go over that meeting and see what Mimi Roca had to say. Another interesting thing, actually, before I leave, that Mimi Roca said in the meeting was that she is well aware that mental health plays a huge role and is one of the primary reasons that people become incarcerated. Right? So mental health is one of the big reasons, primary factors that individuals become incarcerated, enter the system. I thought that was very important, but I didn't like the way they were going about it. Their idea is to change laws, right? So initially they changed the law and created bail reform, which is backfiring. And now they know, and she even understood that they have to reform the reform. But they say they can't go back to the old system, right? Because they're still trying to save face, right? Because we did change it because the old system was horrible, right? Because it allowed judges and prosecutors, which she is a prosecutor, to use their discretion. Okay, but is it the fact that they have discretion in the law that's the problem? Or is the people the problem? Is it the person that has that discretion the problem? Maybe we got to look at the individuals that are locking people up and giving them these high cash bails. If that's the issue, if they have a history of doing that, then let's look at that individual prosecutor or that judge. Maybe they're racist, or maybe they have some other agenda to do so. But is it the laws, exactly the laws themselves, and that they need to be changed? If you still have racist, corrupt individuals on the bench or prosecuting people, are changing laws going to matter? It's a bunch of fluff. They talked about some other stuff. Look, I don't mean to be negative. But you show the results. I'm going to show you the video. I want you guys to tell me, am I crazy or is it just a bunch of fluff? Like this, they don't even answer the question, really. Okay, so what was? Did I miss something here? So that's what it is. Where are the results? And corazón, if bail reform is working, how so? Don't just say it. People just say words and things. Oh, bail reform is working. Crime is down. Education is great. But they never give you actual facts. They show you no real nothing. Nothing. They just say words and terms. So I don't know how bail reform is working, corazón. I want you to explain that to me. Your boy, very close to Mayor Mike Spano. He's not for that. And when you talk about incremental changes, you're failing the people because the Republicans, and I'm a registered Democrat, because the Republicans failed to make incremental changes along the way that would have bettered the community in a positive way or been positive for the community. Really, corazón? Wouldn't you call the changing the housing ordinance, increasing it, an incremental change that would have benefited the community? And what'd you guys do about that? Huh? What'd you guys do? You let it get killed. And then you did nothing else about it. So you aren't making incremental changes either. What incremental changes have you made to better the community here in the city of Yonkers? So stop talking out your rear end. I'm going to call you guys on it every time. I don't care. Say what you want. Make a post about me. It doesn't matter. It comes with the territory. I'm ready for it. But I will respect you, Alberto, because you mentioned only me and you directed your comment only to me. So I respect you for that. Okay? I respect you for that. Right? You're no Lorraine, whatever her name is, who wants to bring up my wife and kids. But anyway, so we'll talk about that on Monday. Bail reform and Corazon and Mimi Roca and their comments that mean nothing. Mimi, I can show you some things, and I'm sure there's people in the city of Yonkers that can show you some things that you can actually investigate that will actually make some change. Anytime, we are here when you're ready. I am Freddie Vasquez. That was Basic Politics Unfiltered. Thank you for watching. If you're watching with me, please join me on Sunday. I will speak about bail reform. Let's talk about Mimi Roca. Corazon Pineda. What's her incredible opinion and perspective that I'm just dying to hear? We'll discuss, is bail reform working, as the councilwoman says? And how do we change that? I am Freddie Vasquez. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Have a good night. Be blessed.